Amira was 18 when she met Jamal. She had just gained admission into the university and still living with her parents in Surulere, Lagos, wide-eyed, hopeful, and hungry for freedom. Jamal was 26, working in tech, already renting his own apartment in Lekki, and driving a used clean Honda Accord. He carried himself with the kind of confidence that made younger women believe he knew everything. He noticed her first. She was standing in line at a small coffee shop off Allen Avenue, clutching a novel, her backpack sliding off her shoulder. He commented on the book she was reading, Chimamanda's Half of a Yellow Sun, and smiled like he had read it. He hadn't. "You look like someone who thinks deeply," he said, his voice calm and deep. "Most girls your age don't read books like that." That was the first hook. It didn't take much after that. They exchanged numbers and he started texting her every night. Nothing sexual, just thoughtful things like, "Did you eat today? Don't let uni stress you. Proud of you." At first, it felt like friendship, but it wasn't. Within a month, he was picking her up after lectures, taking her out to quiet lounges, and showing her parts of Lagos she had only seen on Instagram. He introduced her to jazz, sushi, and to wine. He taught her out how to order off a menu without looking lost. He made her feel like she was skipping levels in life, and he kept telling her, "You are not like girls your age." That sentence wrapped around her like a warm scarf. She did not know it was a leash. Grooming is not always about inappropriate age gaps or violence. Sometimes it's simply control disguised as care. Jamal didn't just give Amira gifts, he gave her a new identity. He made her feel seen in a way that others hadn't, but only as long as she played by his rules. He commented on her friends, "They are too childish for you." He commented on her outfits, "Why wear that? You are too chubby for these crop tops." He praised her for her independence, then quietly discouraged it. "I know you want to work, but why not focus on school? I can take care of you." Amira started pulling away from her peers. She had stopped telling her parents everything, and she did not think of it as isolation. She only thought of it as maturity. That's how grooming works. By the time she had turned 20, Amira was spending most weekends at Jamal's apartment. He had a toothbrush for her, a drawer for her clothes, a playlist on Spotify called For Amira. He was attentive, he remembered her menstrual cycle, he texted her good morning and good night, but every now and then, something just felt off. One time, she posted a selfie on her WhatsApp status. Within minutes, he replied, "Who are you trying to impress?" Another time, she came back from class excited about a group project and mentioned a male course mate. Jamal's face darkened. "You talk about this guy a lot. You need to set boundaries." Another time, while they went out, she caught him staring at another woman. She confronted him and he joked, "Don't you know it's in a man's nature to want to explore?" She didn't want to upset him, so she stopped mentioning her group members. She stopped posting selfies, and she also stopped sharing anything that might make him feel insecure. And also told herself that as long as he can look as long as he kept coming back to her every day. She thought she was being considerate. She didn't realize she was shrinking. It happened when she was 22. By then, they had already been together for almost 4 years. One evening while he was in the shower, a message popped up on his iPad. It was from another woman. The texts were intimate, familiar, and honestly too detailed to be new. Amira stared at the screen, her heart racing. She didn't know what shocked her more, the words or the calm way her body reacted, like it had been waiting for this. When she confronted him, Jamal didn't shout or panic. He just looked at her and said, "You're making this bigger than it is. You know I love you. Don't ruin what we have over something so small." He kissed her forehead, said he was sorry she felt hurt, and that whatever he had with that woman wasn't a real relationship. And when she hesitated, when she didn't immediately forgive, He proposed. A ring, a promise, a future. Amira said yes. She thought maybe this was the moment. Maybe he was choosing her for real this time. The wedding was simple. A court registry, a small reception, a few family members and close friends. Amira wore a fitted white dress. Jamal looked proud. But marriage didn't make him better. It made him bolder. He no longer hid his cheating. He left the house for weekends at a time, saying he was working on a project. He stopped texting good morning and good evening, and he also started blaming her for his moods. He picked fights over nothing. And when she cried, he called her dramatic. When she begged, he walked away. When she yelled just once, out of pure frustration, he gave her a dirty slap. The slap was loud, but the silence afterwards was louder. Amira did not leave that night. She slept in the guest room. She tried to convince herself it was a one-time thing. But deep down, she knew. She knew this was not the beginning, it was the result. The result of 4 years of being broken down, reshaped, and softened. 4 years of being told what to wear, who to talk to, and how to feel. 4 years of being trained to doubt her instincts. She had been groomed, not just to accept abuse, but to question if it was really abuse at all. It took Amira another year to truly leave. A year filled with more slaps, more cheating, more manipulation cloaked in tender apologies. And every time she thought she had hit her limit, Jamal would switch back to the charming man she first met. He would buy her a gift and say he missed how things used to be, promised to go to counseling, which he never did. And there were moments she believed him, moments she thought that the man she loved still existed, buried underneath the bitterness. But those moments became fewer and further between. The man who once praised her for being mature now mocked her for being too emotional and childish. It was during one of those long nights, lying awake after another argument where he had stormed out and left her crying alone, that it hit her. She wasn't in love with him anymore. She was in love with the memory, a version of him that no longer existed. If he ever did that all, the realization didn't come with fireworks, it came quietly, like a sigh. She stopped waiting for him to change and stopped blaming herself for the way he treated her. She stopped hoping that love could fix what manipulation had been built, and she began preparing in secret, saving money, applying for jobs, and reconnecting with friends she had pushed away. She reached out to a cousin in Abuja who offered her a place to stay. And one Saturday morning, while Jamal was out on a work trip, she packed a suitcase, took one last look around the apartment that had felt more like a cage than a home, and walked away. No tears, no dramatic farewell, just freedom, quiet, and real. Healing wasn't a straight line. There were nights she woke up gasping, afraid she had made a mistake. Sometimes she missed him. Not Jamal, but the version he pretended to be. She journaled, she read books about trauma and self-worth. She joined a support group. Each time she shared her story, she found herself unraveling the lies he had tied around her spirit. One day, during a therapy session, her therapist asked, "When did you stop trusting yourself?" Amira couldn't answer immediately, but later that night she wrote, "The moment I started believing he knew me better than I knew myself." Amira started a blog anonymously, writing about subtle control, emotional manipulation, and the reality of grooming. She was shocked by the responses. Women of all ages who had been told they were too sensitive, who were praised for being mature for their age, who had slowly turned into shells of themselves. She organized free online workshops with therapists. She created resources, checklists of red flags, reflective questions, and stories. She even gave talks at universities, gently encouraging young women to trust their instincts. The more she gave, the stronger she became. A year after she had left, she saw Jamal again by accident at a tech conference in Abuja. He looked the same. She did not. He tried to talk to her with that same calm voice, that same subtle charm, but Amira didn't flinch. She smiled and she said, "I hope you're well," and walked away. He wasn't her storm anymore. He was just the weather she had outgrown. The truth is that the first time he cheated wasn't the first betrayal. The first lie was when he told her she was ready for him. She wasn't ready then, but she's ready now. Not for him, for herself, for others, and for freedom.